Hello, it's Monica from Crafting with Quilling and hope you have absolutely wonderful day. In today's video, I'm going to show you how I created, in my opinion, the best masculine birthday card for someone who likes gaming. If you've never ever created this card style, I really hope you'll feel inspired. For my project, I use SVG file from Creative Fabrica and I use two different shades of black. I've got the back panel and the front panel with some elements. And I use my ScanNCut machine to cut all those elements. And this cut in the end is going to be 5 by 7 inches. I also have some white panel that I'm going to back in a moment. But first, let's use liquid glue to assemble the elements together. And what's really good about SVG files, you can make them as big or as small as you want. Here, I decided to create 5 by 7 inches card. But to be honest, I didn't want to put it in the white envelope, so later on, I'm going to show you how to create a personalized envelope for this project. So now I'm going to use one more panel. This time it's going to be white, just to make sure that my card front is very sturdy. Have you ever created a card for someone who loves gaming? I thought this idea would be perfect. Now it will be time to add a little bit of dimension to the project and make sure that this game controller looks a little bit more real. So I've got 4 black circles and I'm going to put 2 together. And one will go on the left and one on the right hand side. However, at this point, I thought let's add a little bit of dimension. So we're going to have a 3D effect. So it looks like a real game controller. So I'm going to use my double-sided foam adhesive and cut 2 small squares. So this way you can actually push them and move them a little bit. So I thought that would be a really good idea for this project. So now I'm going to cut it to the size, add a tiny bit of liquid glue, put double-sided foam adhesive, and then use my pokey tool to peel off the backing. And I think this is so easy. And when this is ready, then I'm going to put the back of the card, which will make my card even more sturdy. And what's really good about this shaped card, it will actually stand proudly on a flat surface. Have you ever created a card for someone who loves gaming? If you have, how did you do it? I'm really curious. So now it will be time for a scoring board, and I've got one more white panel. I'm going to use my scoring tool and I'm going to create 2 fold lines at the very top. Then fold them and burnish. So when this is ready, we can attach the front and the back panels together, which is super simple. And I use this trick for most of my shaped birthday cards. Have you ever used that trick in your card making? Please let me know in the comments down below. And how often do you create masculine cards? Do you have your preferred shape? Because I really like shaped cards. I think they are super unique. So now when it's ready, we can create some more small elements for the card. And here I use my ScanNCut machine and I actually cut quite a lot of those elements. So I'm going to have 3 layers on each side. So I'm going to have quite a lot of dimension here. And at this point, I decided to add a little bit more color to it. So I'm going to use my silver ink pad that I got from Hobbycraft many years ago. I'm going to put a pokey tool here just to make sure that it doesn't move when I apply the ink. And whenever you use pigment inks, they dry very long. So be careful because that ink will stain your fingers. So make sure you clean them before you touch your card base. And now it will be time to put some elements together. And as I told you, I'm going to have 3 layers for each element. And I think that looks so cool. I'm not really sure if you can see it here, but in real life it really makes a difference. As you can see, I do have a tiny bit of that silver ink on the card base, but don't worry, when all the elements were dry completely with glue, I use my eraser and I literally rub it out super quick. So don't worry if you make a mistake. And how often do you use metallic ink pads for your card making? Do you have your preferred color or brand? If you do, please let me know which one is it. So as you can see, this card comes together super quickly. And to be honest, having ScanNCut machine or Cricut, literally you can create anything you want. So if you have ever thought about getting one machine, I do encourage you to invest it because you can create your own SVG files as well. And I think this is so cool. So now I'm going to create some elements for the right hand side. And this time I've got some circles. So again, I'm going to put couple together to give me some dimension and then use that silver ink pad. If you want, you can use a pokey tool or you can basically put it on the ink pad and press. But make sure you wait a little bit because this ink is pigment ink, which means it will dry for a long time. So when this is ready, again I'm going to assemble those elements together. And don't forget to wash your fingers in between, because trust me, it will make a difference. So when this is ready, I thought we need a sentiment. So from my stash, I decided to use one of the happy birthday cutting dies I've got from Crafter's Companion. I got it many years ago and I still think it is one of my most used for card making. It has beautiful font and actually it is a really good size. So when these panels are ready, we can create that happy birthday sentiment. And I decided to use gold mirror card just to have a little bit of variation with the gold and silver. And when you actually tilt the cut, you do get all that beautiful shine to it, which I really like. So at this point, I thought the cut is really nice, but is there a way I can make this project even more better? Obviously, I'm not going to add any gems to this project. However, I can create my own envelope that will match the whole card, which I think is a really nice touch. So as you can see, the card is complete. It stands proudly on a flat surface, and yes, you do have plenty of space to write your message inside. Now let's create the envelope. So as you can see, I've got my Envelobox creator. I really like it and I use black acrylic marker to put it on all the numbers and letters. So this way it is so much easier to work with. So this one comes from Crafter's Companion, and if I can find it, I will leave the link to it. So we're going to create a flat envelope, which is 5 by 7 inches. So here it is. So I need card measuring 9 and 3/8 of an inch. And I'm going to use G and K on that board, which you can see. So here is my card, and I'm going to place it at number 1. First, I'm going to start with the letter G. So I'm going to score it and then turn my card 180 degrees and use that G again. When this is ready, I'm going to move it 90 degrees and use that K letter, and then rotate 180 degrees and again use that K letter. When this is ready, then I can use my scissors and cut the excess off and make this envelope professionally finished. It's always a good idea to fold and burnish all those core lines first. And when this is ready, I'm going to use my scissors, which is super nice. So all I have to do is to curve all those edges. So you don't really need any punch to do it. You can use your scissors and that will be perfectly fine. However, at this point, I decided I want to have some round edges as well on some of the parts of the envelope. So from my stash, I took one of the punches and I'm going to use it on all those sides, which I think adds that tiny small element, but it really makes a difference. So if you make a mistake here, do not worry. I'm going to cut that end off later on because I really want this envelope to look professionally finished and I really want it to match my project. So now I'm going to fold it, and as you can see, with that panel I decided to cut it off. So using my scoring tool, I'm going to create the line and use my scissors to cut the excess off. Super quick and simple. So if you do create masculine cuts, please let me know what is your preferred cutting die or style. I'm really curious. Now it is time to add that liquid glue and your envelope will be complete. However, at this point I thought let's look at the shaped cut. It has a little bit of shine to it, especially with that silver color. So I'm going to use it on that envelope as well, just to make sure all the elements will match. And as I told you, this one is a pigment ink. So if you want to give it to a recipient, I would leave that project for a couple of hours to dry completely. And that's exactly what I did. So the whole project is complete. As you can see, it's not very colorful, but I thought that would be the way to go for someone who loves gaming. So what do you think about this project? Do you like it? Please let me know in the comments down below. And the envelope works so well with the card. So now, as you can see, the card goes really beautifully inside, and you can also put some white card and write your name of the recipient at the front of the envelope. So, thank you so much for watching and spending that time with me. Don't forget to like this video, give it thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And here you can see other masculine projects I created. Please let me know which one is your favorite. Have a wonderful day and see you in my next video. Bye for now. Happy crafting!